Happy Friday, everyone. TGIF. I am someone that lives for the weekend, and I don't know about you, and I know that's like, not a good approach to life is living for the weekends because you should be living for every day of the week. And I would tell you, pretty much every day of the week for me is sort of like a weekend, but there's nothing like the weekends because I have more flexibility with my time. And what I mean by every day of the week is like a weekend, I have some flexibility because I work from home, and I'm also a creator. But during the week, I have to work. Like I may be a creator, I may run this diversity, equity, and inclusion company, and I have some flexibility, but I have to work, right? So I have to produce, and so it's nice because it allows me to put a lot of energy in my home. And I don't know if you guys know, my home is also my art studio, and as you can see, it's a pretty creative space. Now, I'm supposed to be going around and taping or filming some of the art around here, or so you can see some of the things that I've done with the place. But I love it. Everything in here is art, pretty much. I revamped everything. My tables, even the table that I'm using right now, it's a big slab of glass, and I revamped this table. And there's layers of epoxy resin on it. My mermaids on it. It's really like just a really fun environment to be in. And then not to mention I love plants. So I'm surrounded by art, my plants. I have a big LP collection, so I'm a big um, fan of blues, a lot of old school music, music that Miles Davis, right? Michael Jackson. Who else do I have? Stevie Wonder, some of their old music, Etta James, Nina Simone. So I'm surrounded by art, music, and beauty. And so in that case, it feels like a weekend to me when I'm here working in my home or in my studio. But Monday through Fridays, they're long days. I have the opportunity to take some breaks, maybe some naps, but they're long days. I'm up. I get up early. Um, I get up early. Initially, I get up for the sunrise because I meditate. I meditate for the sunrise, um, and then I might drift off back to sleep a little bit, and then I'm out the door to go do my run in the morning. And then from there, once I get back to do my run, I might work out more, and then I start my day after that. And they're long. I work, I would say, until sunset, and sunset is 9 o'clock, a little bit after 9 o'clock here, but sometimes it's much later than that. Because after sunset, I feel like I can really like paint. There's no distractions. There's no more text. There's no more. There's no more. Everything is still at that point. And so that's like my time to paint in between somewhere between 8 p.m. and midnight. I'm painting a few times a week or working on my important women collection. So I don't know if you know, in my last update, I talked a little bit about my important women collection. If you see in the back of me, actually on this side, you can kind of see some portraits on the wall. And it actually goes all the way around. So that's my collection of important women. And it includes figures like Sonia Sotomayor I just painted, but Ruth Ginsburg, as you can see, Mother Teresa, um, Frida Kahlo, Hillary Clinton, Shirley Chisholm, Billie Holiday, Nina Simone, Audrey Hepburn. I'm looking in the back and I can see who is there, even though they're so far away. I can tell like who's on that back wall. So speaking of this collection, I've been over the past couple of weeks. I've been adding to it and filming time lapse videos of this collection, and I'm just really like enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying how my work is evolving, and how it's so different than my work before. And so like my focus now is to really just like build my craft, do better artwork, and to just grow as a strong artist. So a couple of days ago, I finished up Serena Williams. Now, she's quite not finished. A friend of mine took a look at the work, loved it. I love it. I think it's fabulous, but it's something missing because even though it captured her likeness, there's something missing. And so I feel, and even though my friend said it too, is that it's probably the eyes, because her eyes are, she has these striking eyes, and I don't think I've captured that. Now I may go in and do a little bit more lighting and shadowing on the nose, just a little bit, because I don't want to alter it too much because I feel like I did get the nose, but it is the eyes, and I'm looking at it, and I can tell it's the eyes. One thing about what I've learned recently about when you're doing portraits of women and children, sometimes too much line work in their face can make them too masculine. And even if you're capturing the actual lines that they have or the actual structure that they have, you have to be very careful not to overdo it or capture everything, every line that's in their face, because it can make them too old. And that can, not too old, too masculine. And so, which kind of got me thinking a lot about the portrait that I started of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I worked on this portrait for a few days, and every time I worked on it, she still looked older, and she's a young woman. She still looked older, and I was so troubled by it. So I had to put it down, and I mean, it's not like there hasn't been portraits that I have to put aside and come back to later and redo. But it got me thinking a lot when I was doing Serena's painting, that that was probably the case, that I was focusing too much on some of those features or some of those, the lines in her face that really was attributing, because she actually does have, like, like me, like I have lines where I have under my eyes lines. These are the things like if you're going to recreate my face, you're probably going to focus on, maybe some of the lines in my face. But you have to be real careful, because you can age the person, right? Too much, or make them look too masculine. And it makes sense because looking at my face now, you can see the lines sometimes, and you can sometimes not see the lines. So you have to almost kind of decide for yourself as an artist, Do you add those lines? Would the lines alter the look of the person, if that makes sense? Because when we move our face, you might see certain lines more times than others, or depending on how, like if I smile, it looks different. If I don't smile, it looks different. If I talk, it looks different. And so you have to decide as an artist what is going to capture, how you're going to capture that face without altering it. Because sometimes you have to opt out of using certain lines. I hope that makes sense. And I'm still learning that. I'm learning sometimes. I think you have to play around a little bit to determine like what lines are needed and what lines aren't needed, if that makes sense. So other paintings that I recently finished up are Madeline Albright. I love this woman. Like, she was so vocal and outspoken about her beliefs, or she, let's not say were, but she's still around. She's so outspoken. Just a really amazing figure in time. And one of the things about Madeline, and the reason why I loved painting her so much, is that she loved her brooches. And if you watch the time lapse video, listen to the music that I used for that time lapse video on Instagram. I don't. I think I posted a time lapse video on YouTube, but I didn't use that music, because on Instagram I'm able to use some of the latest artist music. So I guess they have some access and privilege as long as it's on Instagram, and then the artist is also credited for the use of their work. But for some reason on YouTube, we don't have that. We don't have that privilege. So I had to upload a different soundtrack for her video. Another is Kamala Harris. You've probably seen Kamala on my channel. She's definitely a figure, whether you either like her or you don't like her. And I have definitely got that message after posting the time lapse video of her painting on Instagram. Aung San Suu Kyi, or Sweet. It's the last name is spelled Kyi, but it's not. It's not Key. It's she. I think it's she. Former leader of Myanmar. I love painting her. I love the colors. Love everything about that painting. Maya Angelou. It's just so weird, like what comes out of you as an artist. Like why the humble look, you know, but patriotic colors in her blue top, red scarf, red headscarf. Don't know. It's just I went with it. It was something that I was feeling at the time, and I went with it. Who knows? I might paint something different later. Do another portrait and do something different later. She definitely morphed throughout time. Like, you would see her in a headscarf. You would see her with her tiny afro. You would see her with her short crop cut in her later years. So she definitely morphed a lot, you know. And then she just had this like really amazing smile. Maya had this beautiful smile. Liz Taylor, love her so much. Another figure that, like, because she's been around for so long, she's a childhood actress, and she lived for many years. Worked until like what, the 80s or 90s as an actress. And so she had like a 40, 50 year career span, maybe even longer than that. So it's like she transformed so much, right? But one thing about Liz is that she has this very gaudy, or she loves fashion and glamour. And no matter what age she was, you always saw Liz was always very striking, and it was obvious that she enjoyed fashion. Last but not least, the first Latina on the U.S. Supreme Court, Sonia Sotomayor. Now, I have like a couple of things, stories about her. Years ago, before she became U.S. Supreme Court Justice, my work initially, before I became a founder of a nonprofit, I would write a lot about social political issues. Um, Early on, I knew that the most interesting. I took interest in women's issues, right? And I wanted to be someone that was active and a part of making sure that women's issues were highlighted. I started a petition to I started a petition for the president to put three women on his short list for the U.S. Supreme Court, because at that time, whew, who was on the Supreme Court at that time? Trying to think. Ruth Ginsburg was on the U.S. Supreme Court. Sandra O'Connor was on the U.S. Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court was imbalanced, right? There was more men than women, and so I selected three women. Um, One was Sonia Sotomayor. This was before she became U.S. Supreme Court Justice. There were two others. I just can't remember their names. It was a black woman and a white woman. I think the white woman was out of Philadelphia. The black woman was out of Chicago. Can't remember her name. And of course, Sonia Sotomayor is out of New York City. I did some research and just looked at all their backgrounds. And the white woman out of Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, I'm trying to remember. Um, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The white woman was a conservative. She had a conservative background. The black woman, I don't remember what type of background she had. And then Sonia Sotomayor, I believe, is she's liberal. She's liberal. She had a liberal background. Um, so anyway, I wanted to make sure that um, we were looking at different women, not just one type of woman, but we needed more women on the U.S. Supreme Court. And I looked at their history, how they voted in the past, and so on. So anyway, my petition didn't get a lot of signatures, but lo and behold, guess what? President Obama eventually nominated Sonia Sotomayor for the U.S. Supreme Court Justice. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought of her. I'm sure there was buzz going around and saying that we should consider Sonia Sotomayor. But I'm going to tell you, at the time, I had no idea Obama was going to nominate Sonia Sotomayor. We have so many Supreme Circuit Court judges across the country, right? So we're talking about, I picked three women, three Circuit Court judges and the one circuit court judge got nominated for the U.S. Supreme Court. Fate, I don't know. Um, so anyway, it was. I've always had this history or thing um, tied to Sonia Sotomayor, and I was always proud of her being on the U.S. Supreme Court. And I want to say that maybe I had my little energy among many other people was a part of that. And so it was a victory for me. So that's one thing. Now, today or yesterday, I got this email from Teespring. And Teespring, so my company, my diversity, equity, inclusion company, has a store on Teespring. And four of the t-shirts in that store has my paintings on it, Sonia Sotomayor included. Out of all those paintings, they picked Sonia Sotomayor and removed it and said, well, um, they questioned the creator of the image, and so they removed it because they felt that I didn't have the privilege to post the T-shirt, and then if there's some discrepancy, they wanted me to, you know, dispute it. So I end up disputing it and saying, hey, that's my image. I created that image. I'm also an artist. Yes, I'm founder of this company, and we have a store on Teespring. My name is Julene Allen. I'm founder of that company, but I'm also the creator of Revamp This. I'm the artist at Revamp This, and I painted that shirt. Here is my Instagram page. And on my Instagram page, you see the name Julene Allen in the profile. And if you click on the Instagram name Julene Allen that's on the profile, you'll see also Julene Allen is founder of this Women of Color in the Workplace. That's the name of my company. And you also see the shirt, the image posted there too, along with the other paintings that I recently did. So I haven't heard back from them yet, but I thought that was just so interesting. They removed Sonia's T-shirt, the T-shirt with Sonia's face on it or painting on it. Mind you, the others that are there are still listed. But I just thought that was interesting, and I'm like, Sonia Sotomayor, there's so much energy around this woman, but I just thought it was just so funny, and the fact that they removed my shirt and questioned whether, the person that owned the store had right to use that painting, and I'm like, yes, I created it. So happy Friday, everyone, and hopefully they put my shirt up. They relist it soon because I'm in the middle of the campaign. So anyway, coming up, I have a long list of women that I am like crossing off as I paint them. And sometimes I don't follow that list. Like I have this list, this guide of women that I've researched or looked up and say, you know what, hey, I want to paint these subjects and include them in my collection. But sometimes I'll look at that list and I'm thinking, I don't think I want to paint anyone on this list right now. And so I think I'm going through that. So I put together a short list. A couple of women are on that list, and then I added a few more that are not on that list yet. So I have Tammy Duckworth. She's a disabled veteran congresswoman out of Illinois. Dr. Mae Jemison. Some of you may know who that is. She's a former astronaut, scientist. Benazir Bhutto is a former prime minister of Pakistan. Meryl Streep, you all know who Meryl Streep is. I don't have to tell you who Meryl Streep is. You know who Meryl Streep is. And Eleanor Roosevelt. Now I feel like I'm gonna have so much fun painting her because she was a badass boss, right? She ran she ran that White House. She ran that White House. And she is such a powerful figure in history. Particularly like if I can capture her fur coat. She kind of reminds me of Madeleine Albright because, Madeleine Albright, she loved her brooches. Her brooches and her earrings stood out. And that was like her trademark. Eleanor Roosevelt, if I can get that fur, we're in business. So I think I should work on a portrait of Eleanor Roosevelt in a fur. Now, should it be a brown fur, her typical, like, I think it's brown, or should I go with like a blue fur or purple fur? So that's the question. Do I want to put a unique spin on the fur? Like bring Eleanor Roosevelt up to date to the 21st century. Like, what type of fur would Eleanor Roosevelt wear in 2021? Would she get her fur dyed? I don't know. I think I would have to do some more reading about her to see, um, how what type of edge did she have? We know she was a badass boss. So what type of edge did she have? We know she loved her fur, and she might have probably did a purple or blue fur, maybe green, money green fur. Well, anyway, guys, that's all I have for now. Thank you for tuning in. It's another Friday. I plan on doing my updates every Friday. It is the best weekday of the week. No one likes Mondays. No one likes Wednesdays because it's in the middle of the week. Some of us almost like Thursday because it's close to Friday, but Friday is the best weekday, right? This has been good. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and support me. In in my past videos, I'm gonna say it again. I'm looking to build a community around my artwork, to start conversations about the work that I do. If there is a subject that you're interested in me capturing or painting, rather, please let me know. Put it in the comments. Or you can catch me on Instagram at Revamp This. You can put it in the comments there as well. Follow me there. Um, the subject could be male or female. Not only do I paint portraits of women, I also paint men. I have a small collection. This other collection that I have is called the Black Orators Collection. It's actually on this side in the corner. And I'm going to move my head a little bit. Let's see if I can move it. But it's kind of hard to see. Anyway, the collection is of Black people who have contributed powerful speeches in history. So we're talking about Marcus Garvey, um, um, Martin Luther King, Ida B. Wells, Audre Lorde. So basically, I am not opposed to painting a male face. If there's a subject that you're interested in me putting together, let me know. All right. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. Talk soon. Bye.